Hello everybody, this is Dwayne at Almost Heaven Hydroponics. Today is Saturday, July the 9th. I wanted to give you a quick update on my outdoor hydroponics. It's been about 2 weeks since I did my last video, and I wanted to show you this rapid growth on my tomatoes and other plants. As you recall, it was about 4 weeks ago when I transplanted these tomatoes, which were all clones, that was all suckers, to my outdoor Dutch buckets. Those plants were all about 8 inches tall at the time, and here they are, actually less than 4 weeks, by one day. They're all 4 foot tall and taller, and they're growing rapidly, which is to be expected. When you got warm temperatures and plenty of sunshine, water, and nutrients, they just explode. Of course, with hydroponics, you don't worry too much about the water. You maintain your nutrient level, your pH, and the water takes care of itself. I typically start out with a rainwater, which may not be pure, but it's better than city water, which has all those nasty chemicals in it. My rainwater, when I test with an ECM meter, it comes out about 7 parts per million. When I first start on nutrients, which I am using EnviroCure, it's a liquid organic nutrient. It's processed chicken manure. I start out at about 700-800 parts per million. After a couple of weeks, when I know the roots are well established, I crank it on up to about 1400 parts per million. I have never hit a wall with EnviroCure. I believe I could probably take most plants, especially tomatoes, up to 2,000 parts per million with no ill effects. Now, a week ago we had rain nearly every day, so there was no sunshine, so no photosynthesis. Plant growth slowed to a crawl, but the last week we've had a lot of sunshine. Let me show you here. This plant, in about 26 to 36 hours, has grown 6 inches. That just goes to show that when you have plenty of sunshine, nutrients, and water, and temperatures that tomatoes and other plants love, that they'll just really take off. So this plant actually is ready to be trained up a little more, and I'm going to use a trellis clip. That's what I call them. These are little plastic devices. It's the best thing I've ever used for training tomatoes up, and I'm using baling twine. This is polyethylene twine. It's very strong. It's not something that I could break in my hands, and this particular piece has been hanging down from my eave trough for 2 years, so it doesn't even rot very easily. By the way, you could buy baling twine at Tractor Supply, any farm supply. They come 2 rolls in a box for $29.95, and that's about 4.5 miles of baling twine. That's right, 4.5 miles, and that will last you for many, many years. I've been using the same roll now for 4 years, and I haven't even started on my second roll. But anyhow, these trellis clips, I usually buy about 5,000 at a time, and I've used them, some of them 3 years, and most of them 2 years. If you look closely, they got a little gripper, I call it. And these are so easy to put on. Look at this. I'm going to do it with one hand. Pull the tomato plant around. as you close the trellis clip, it grips the string. The clip will click right into place, and just like that. These trellis clips, like I say, I buy about 5,000 at a time. About a half a cent a piece. That's a half a penny. In the old days, I used to use tomato cages, and I thought that was the answer to my prayers, because tomatoes will grow as long as they have proper nutrients and sunlight. But I found that I had to stake them up, because once they got up about 5 foot, they would just topple over. With these strings and the trellis clips, the sky is the limit. These trellis clips in large quantities do not cost much at all. I have plenty on hand. This particular brand is the best brand I've had. The plastic doesn't seem to deteriorate. I don't know where you could buy these, but if somebody is interested, I could sell you a few at my cost. Just send me a text message and I'd be glad to ship you some out. I also have other plants in this Dutch bucket run. Right here you're looking at cucumbers. I think there's about 3 cucumbers in here. And these cucumbers are growing like weeds. They send out their little feelers. Look at that. They wrap right around the string. You don't even have to clip them up that much. The cucumbers, as well as my tomato plants, will all be up to the eave spout, which is 8 foot off the ground. And they'll be there by the middle of August, I guarantee you. It happens every year. You just can't compete with hydroponics when it comes to rapid growth. Clear down here in the end, I have 2 buckets with Kentucky Wonder pole beans. You look real close, you can see the runners are reaching out and grabbing the stake and the string. They also will grow right up to the eave trough and actually extend about 2 feet up onto the roof. You would be surprised how many beans you can get off of just 2 pots. That's enough to feed a family. I want to take you on down to my newer compound. I actually set these plants out 2 weeks later. And this is an old dog kennel. I've been using it for about 8 years, and I started just putting plants in here for one good reason. The deer have a habit of eating everything I want to raise, and the compound walls are 6 foot tall, and no deer has jumped over them yet. Typically, this compound will be completely fenced in with green foliage, and these plants here have been out in the buckets for about 2 weeks, and they also were 8-10 inches tall when I set them out. Just look at them. They're 2.5-3 foot tall, all of them. I have several tomatoes, bell pepper and jalapeno pepper, and more cucumbers. Now, these plants grow so tall in here. 2 years ago, I decided I need some more extension and height, so I added more pipe, and it goes clear up to 10 foot now. That's right, 10 foot, and I guarantee you in another 6 weeks you'll see tomato and cucumbers clear to the top, and they will produce produce all the way to the top. This will be my 3rd year with my extension, and it's just amazing how much produce you can grow in a small area. And for people who live in urban areas and you have a backyard, you can do it there too, provided there's not a housing code that prevents you from growing a garden, and there is in some areas. Well, that's it for today, folks. Looks like it'll be a great growing weekend, lots of sunshine, temperatures mid-80s. I can hear my plants are growing right now. In the meantime, be kind to each other and always have a great day. Pahalam.